Hi, this is Sean Rona. I've decided not to show my face this time because I'm going to be doing a typing trivia contest this evening instead of verifying my own typing or something like that. And I didn't feel like broadcasting myself and my cluttery home to the world. Can you hear me this time? Okay. Hi guys. Yes, sorry about that other glitchy stream. I'm so inept at almost anything hardware-wise. It's pathetic. A couple months ago, I was watching this NASCAR YouTuber stream named Eric Estep, and Eric was using a trivia site called Kahoot, where he was conducting NASCAR trivia contests for his subscribers, and I competed on that stream for a bit. I got up to the top 20 on the one in the 2001 season. He has like thousands of subscribers, and he almost makes a living from his own Patreon. He's way bigger than me, but I will not be using Kahoot because when I tried to look up and see how that worked, I found that you could only have about 20 concurrent users without having to pay a lot of money, like something like $60 a month. So I started looking for alternatives, and I found this alternative site called Quizizz, Quizizz, and I'm doing a 50-question multiple choice typing quiz where each question has 4 possible responses. I'm doing 25 questions from the 19th and 20th century typing scene, and 25 questions from the current typing scene. The earlier questions will be more basic because almost nobody knows anything about typing from the 19th and 20th centuries. I mean, comically, if you look at Wikipedia's page on speed typing contest, it has a lot of errors on it. In a speed typing contest, contestants compete to attain the highest accurate typing speeds. These contests have been common in North America since the 1930s and were used to test the relative efficiency of typing with the Dvorak and QWERTY keyboard layouts. That's all wrong. Typing contests are a lot older than that, and they were used to test the typewriters against each other, not any specific keyboard layouts, because everybody was QWERTY at the time. But I've done a lot of research through old newspaper archives, and I've gone through all the champions, all the info on all the champions historically, and I wanted to, some people have read this, some of my Patreon subscribers have read all this stuff, but I wanted to do my own typing trivia thing here for you to see what some of the highlights of my research were, without me giving the entire book away. So you can go to joinmyquiz.com and enter this code 5984504, and I'll answer some questions first. Yes, hi everyone. I'm going to give it, alright, people have been waiting for a while. I will give it until 9:36 and I will start. So that'll be 100 seconds to get in here. And right, it's a stupid acronym for trivia. I have no idea who the fastest two-finger typist is. joinmyquiz.com is the site. Oh yeah, hi Decel. The DOS keyboard's fine. Okay, how many do I recognize? I recognize Despot and Trickway from the stream, and Charlie OG, and maybe V is who I think it is. Alright, Lucas Conspire, Keegan, Shaq. Yeah, I'm going to start at 9:36. And that's like 5 seconds from now. Okay, here we go. "20 seconds per question." I'm not answering them, obviously. Oh, it's doing them out of order. Who is the only typist to set the fastest speed in their language on Intersteno 8 years in a row? Karen Kulikian, Kukane, me, or Chalal Askin? It's doing things all out of order. You have 20 seconds. Yeah, alright, I can't switch back to the chat because then people won't be able to see the questions. I thought this was going to stop at 20 seconds. It's not working. It's been more than 20 seconds, I think. Oh, do I have to administrate it? Oh, crap. Okay. So it doesn't work the same as Kahoot. All right. Then I'm just going to wait until everybody says they're done, I guess. I think I need to wait until everybody else is done. I'm not going to spoil the answers. Yeah, alright, Kahoot is much better than this. I did not do a trial run of this, I'm sorry. So I'm going to stop talking so you can have the time. Yeah, I asked obscure stuff for the current websites because I figured that people would know all the easy stuff, like they'd know who all the obvious record holders are, but yes, I've used Monkey Type. I even asked a question about Monkey Type on here. Which site do I use to increase typing speed? I don't know. TypeRacer is probably the best for that. Although maybe Monkey Type might eventually be better for that. Oh, does it go back and forth between the tabs? Yeah, obviously I can't answer these because I don't know what the answers are, but a lot of these things you won't be able to search because they're only in newspaper archive sites. Some of this stuff never made the internet. Yep, hi Sword, and thank you for letting me use your quote for my chapter. I'm going to see what else people are saying on the Discord. Alright. Right, almost all the old stuff is going to be obscure to, well, even people who've read my book probably, but, yeah, this is going to be one heck of a lame stream. I thought everybody was going to be playing together, like on Kahoot. I didn't realize this site was different, and that's going to make this. No, I don't have my own personal Discord server. I mean, I've thought about it a couple times. Maybe it would be good book promotion at some point, but I don't want to moderate something like that. Oh, the link to the quiz was all right, I've already forgotten. 5984504 is the number, but I don't remember what the site was. I'm using Alexa website rankings to determine what the most popular in the US and what the most popular in the world were. If you disagree with my answers, quibble with Alexa. That is not my data. Yeah, alright. I guess what I asked was too hard. I kind of thought it was going to be, even for the people who have read my book. But I didn't want to ask really easy things like who was the current type racer record holder or Nitro Type record holder or whatever, because people already know that stuff. I asked 4 questions specifically about Type Racer, 4 about Nitro Type, and 4 about 10 Fast Fingers. I was egalitarian here, and I think like one of each was easy. I was going for obscure stuff, like not who holds the current records or whatever, because people generally know that stuff already. Maybe I should have to make it easier. Maybe if I ever do this again, I will. Yeah, I mean, about Nitro Type, I had to ask about the cars and stuff like that because there just isn't much of a historical archive of their records. Let me know when you're all done or giving up, and I can go through them for you. Or does it report whether you get the answers right or wrong each time? I need to have something more interesting on the screen, maybe. Okay, it tells you the right answers. Well, 50 questions times 20 seconds, plus like 10 seconds to look over whatever it gives you. Alright, it should be less than a half hour regardless. What should I put on what should I put on this what should I put on the stream so you're just not watching this, my analytics? Hey, speed typing. Kind of had a headache, but just took Tylenol right before the stream, and my microphone wasn't working because the setting got discombobulated for some reason, and my groceries just came right before this, and my mom came out when I was trying to do the first stream, and it was a mess. Yeah, I mean, I have an eating disorder, and I used to have, when I was a kid, when I was your age, I used to have great sleep habits, but nowadays, no. Yeah, I know, the 2010 Ultimate Typing Championship almost became a meme. Yes, speed typing, I'm doing a trivia test on the history of typing, and I did not test this site at all before. I wish I had used the other site, Kahoot, for this now, and obviously I made this too hard, even for my subscribers. Like, Dessel is subscribing to my book, but a lot of the stuff I have on this quiz is from chapters I haven't even released yet. Yeah, I mean, that's how much research I did to Dessel. And yeah, a lot of that stuff is stuff that wasn't really relevant to chapters, like the Nitro type cars, that wasn't really relevant. But I didn't want to make it just an easy question. Who holds the current Nitro type high speed record? Because I figure all you guys will know that, even though it's not something I have memorized. I don't remember whether it's Czech or Raptor now, but yeah, okay. If you're all finishing, tell me what your scores were. I know some people are just type racer people, some people are nitro type people, some people are 10 fast fingers people. I want it to be egalitarian here and not just favor one site on my questions. And I think I did a good job of that at least. Oh, 40%, that's 20 questions. That's really good. Although you're a nitro type person, you probably knew all that stuff about the nitro type titles or whatever. Yeah, I guess this was kind of a bust, but Conspire came from Nitro Type. I'm pretty sure he was a big Nitro Type star before he even started on Type Racer, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it seems like everybody here has accounts on basically every site, so word, I mean. Let me know when you're all done and I will go through the answers. I mean, there are probably still people at it. Okay, yeah, I mean, I started it at 9:36 and it was, I started it at 9:36 and it was 20 seconds for 50 questions, which is 1,000 seconds, which is 17 minutes, so it seems like it shouldn't have ended yet, but alright, I'll spoil if you haven't already seen yet, and if it lets me. Oh, alright, it's redoing it now. What was the first site that allowed you to set the length of time for which you wish to compete? HighGames.net, I've talked about that. That was my favorite site once upon a time. Who is the only typist who has reached 200 words per minute on 10 fast fingers in 3 different languages? That is in Jash's book. It was not me, it was Shazzy. 2 Scandinavian languages and English. What is the maximum number of people who can join a Nitro Type team? I thought a lot of people would know that one at least. 50. Used to be 200 once upon a time. Which typist appears on the top 5 of all of Typing Zone's permanent contest lists? It is Cocaine. DeRose is in the top 10 in all of them. Check's barely done most of the other things besides English, and I could not get in the top 10 on those alphabet tests. Chicago and Beijing both held intersteno contests. They both held intersteno meetings, but Chicago was in the 1800s. Basically, when typing contests didn't exist, there were no typing contests then. So it is Beijing. All these things were invented at about the same time. The answer is the telephone. Alexander Graham Bell was demonstrating the first telephone at the same time as Christopher Latham Scholes was demonstrating the first typewriter. The 1906 to 1927 contests were held in New York. The 1928 was in Sacramento, and the 1935 and contests after that were held in Chicago. There was one in Toronto and one in Richmond also, but Philadelphia never held one. Which 19th century celebrity was one of the first people to buy a typewriter? It was Mark Twain, and he was also the first to publish a book using a typewriter. He says it was Huckleberry Finn, but modern historians say that it was probably more likely to be his next book, Life on the Mississippi. The oldest site to introduce a live leaderboard for the fastest speed over a specific time interval, that was TypeRay, which had its 1-minute words test and its 2-minute sentence test in 2002. Intersteno was 2003. They had congresses before that in the 20th century, but they didn't have a site until 2003. Who was the only typist to set the fastest speed in their language on Intersteno 8 years in a row was Chalal Askin. It was not me. It would have been me had I not been disqualified in 2017 for posting a footage of the video on YouTube before the contest was over. I would have had 9 years in a row besides that. I only won 2. India, that's what I already mentioned in the chat. I'm surprised there aren't a lot more Indian typing stars at this point then. Geez, did Keegan get almost everything right? It's Germany. I counted West Germany for that question. The answer would actually be West Germany, but I counted West Germany as Germany for that. Nitrotype, you all know that. Hosfield 110, Tangora 17, Owen and Fritz 14. You just have to know that. Not many people know much about Typing Zone, I admit, but it was a great site once upon a time. Maximum allowable score is 255. I think it has to do with there being 256 binary codes in a byte. Binary codes isn't right, but it's Czech. You should all know that. He hasn't really tried for it yet. He'll probably get it eventually. Yeah, I mean, you just have to know that only the Nitro type people will, and maybe a lot of them won't. He does not have his own universe, even though he's added a lot of quotes. You'd think he'd have his own universe, though. Jesus, Keegan gonna beat me? Yeah, you also know that, too. Michael DeRosa was on there yesterday and set the record. I wanted to ask something for my monkey type, but it doesn't have much history. Yeah, I mean, that I haven't even written about yet. Although it is historically important. I set the fastest speed in 9 different languages at most at one time, but I did in all but 11 all but 6 overall. This is disgusting, by the way. Christmas sphere, that meme stuff bothers me. You probably all should have gotten that because it sounds even dumber than theirs. Calligraph was the first alternate typewriter. Blickensderfer was the first that used a Dvorak-like layout. The European layouts didn't happen for quite a while because almost all the keyboards were in the United States for some time. Oh yeah, Albert Tangora. And that doesn't matter how you quantify each words per minute. 1887, it's ridiculous, the kind of history they have. 1955 was the first one where they had a typing contest. I guess Keegan's repeating everything so he can get a perfect score. Okay. Yeah, that you just have to know. You have to read what I just wrote, or read one of the typewriter blogs I read. That you also just have to know, although it makes sense that it would be that. I mean, that's even in TypeRacer quotes, so yeah. That's something you should be able to guess even if you're a TypeRacer user who hates NitroType. It was DeRoche, although most of the quotes he added were not labeled. He added 2,000, I added 1,000. David and Alex didn't add anywhere close. This was my attempt to be funny. Using his keyboard loud, he did not consider that important. Good technique, he considered most important, then speed, then accuracy. He didn't really care people continued to use QWERTY as much as he hated it. Remington was the first typewriter brand, but they never won. They finished second a couple times, I think. Yeah, this is something you just have to know that I thought was pretty silly. Desiderata. And Mary Had a Little Lamb might not count as a poem to you. I know it's a nursery rhyme technically, but I'd say nursery rhymes are poems. Margaret Owen, that you have to know. You have to read what I just wrote a week ago. Yeah, I mean, this is really obscure. You may not have heard of most of these things. Strange as it seems was the Ripley's Believe It or Not ripoff, but that's where they were mentioned. Keyboards originally did not have a 1. They didn't have a 0 either, which is weird. For the 1, you were supposed to type an uppercase I or a lowercase l. For the 0, you were supposed to type an O. Oh, I don't even remember that. Oh, yeah, I do. 54. The first commercially successful computer typing game. That's the one I learned on from 85. Mavis Beacon's from 87. Typing Tutor was the first in 81. Master Type was 84. Master Type was the first that was huge. Typing Tutor remained big for longer, though. He made one error in an entire hour. I mean, that's insane. All the shows they were putting up were insane, but that's especially insane. It wasn't DeRoche. It was Maximum Chris. And Keegan has not yet done it, although I'm sure he's going to at some point. The first site that held regularly has scheduled season champions, it's Typing Zone from 2002. 10 Best Fingers probably never did. And I overtook Keegan, and now that's going to annoy him. No Latin, no Mandarin, surprisingly no Swedish. That should have been pretty easy because I put 2 Cortez Peters on there, so it was the Cortez Peters Business School, and they both ran it. Stella Pajunas, back in Rose Fritz and Margaret Owen's day, there wasn't a women's typing championship. They added that in the 20s once Tangora and Hosfield started winning them all. 1888, the contest in Cincinnati, I competed in the Cincy Typing Challenge, was in 2013. It was celebrating the 125th anniversary of that. Yeah, this you just have to know because these games are all old. And they mostly weren't Facebook, but it was Typing Maniac. I thought this was a fun question, and a very bizarre one, but yes, the 70s typing star Ron Mingo taught MC Hammer how to... well, I don't think he taught Hammer typing. He did teach him softball, though. Okay.